BPod Studios.
Now it's time for Zolak and Bertrand. Brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks on the Sports Hub.
Good morning. Welcome into Zolak and Bertrand, presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Beetle, Zoe, and Tim McKone today, who comes to us from the home base.
You've got to back away from that
stricken
camera.
with COVID.
I can see COVID all over your forehead.
Oh, I can smell it from here. That's what I can do. I don't even know if we can hear him. If we kind of bad.
You got.
We do that. Don't do that.
He's got
Turn
that
him down.
professional microphone.
That's not going to work.
That's a good investment.
There goes that.
Thanks
We're
for
just
joining
going
us.
to keep him in the 3-box all day just to see what he's doing over there.
Yeah.
You'll get your headlines from him, but other than that, I'm not sure there's going to be much back and forth.
Watch him eat mayonnaise from home. This is going to be good. Your whole place looks sick.
I could tell you, did you turn him up again? I could feel the echo.
Nope, not going to happen.
Well, give us a hello, McKone.
Talk!
It's not even working.
What
We're not hearing him. Milliken's hearing him back there. I can hear him through the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Can't hear him on the air. Yeah, let's do the little rerouting there.
Yeah.
Let's try it now. McKone?
This is off to a good start.
Oh,
God, you sound like Billy Jaffe. Sounds like Billy Jaffe on Zoom.
who's home there today? Are you home alone or is the girlfriend there?
Yeah, we're solo right now.
Oh.
Where's she at?
Girlfriend works 4 a.m. to noon, morning anchor hours.
Oh, good.
So she'll be back in a couple hours.
Are we going to see her at noontime? Will she say hello?
She can pop on if you guys want.
That would be fun.
That's going to happen.
That I'd be into.
Yep.
All right. We'll make it happen. Well,
it is Valentine's Day. I'm sure you're going to give her something.
Yeah, COVID.
Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, McKone, good to see you.
Yeah.
Glad you're doing okay.
We'll talk to you later.
You guys shoveled out. That's pretty good.
Zoe did. He was in a heavy band down there in Redmond.
I got plowed twice. I'll show you the bill.
I bet you did.
Yeah. Freaking iced over again. Now it's all black ice. Unbelievable.
You ever heard of throwing down a little rock salt?
I did that. I'm not doing that anymore.
You're out on that. You're out on rock
No, I'm not
salt.
out on it.
You're out on any ice melt.
It's a big driveway, so it's like I got to do the whole thing. And I don't have other cars there right now, so it's not really bugging me. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Let's get back into it.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Hey,
baby.
Lover over there.
Hey, baby.
Hey,
Big day, Zoe.
Hey, Toots. What?
Big day today, Zoe.
Yep.
Gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts?
Hell no.
No, I'm more of a Starbucks guy myself.
Actually, I'm.
Cumbies.
I am a Cumbies guy.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Day 3 of Super Bowl fallout, of post-Super Bowl football talk. We can't do this every day for the next, 3 months.
No.
It's winding down.
Right.
It's definitely winding down.
Of course it is.
Chris Long says that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback that he has ever seen. Do you agree with that on
a platonic level to where we could just evaluate it without factoring in Super Bowl wins and everything and just based on pure talent and the eye test
talent?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could see a guy play basketball a certain way and say, wow, I've never seen a guy shoot and jump like that. Doesn't mean he's Michael Jordan. But you're just that talented. I mean, have you seen baseball players that swing a bat a certain way or pitch, or you're a 5-tool player? Or a guy on skates that just looks different than other guys that could do it on one skate. They could flick it with the wrist, but he's not Bobby Orr. That's the best guy I've seen play. Chris Long played in the league a long time. First round pick, good guy, smart guy. I know that guy. Talked to him a lot when he was here that 1 year.
Won a Super Bowl that
won
year.
it with Tom Brady. Saw Tom Brady come back in that game, right? It was the Atlanta game. So he witnessed 28-3 from the sideline.
He also witnessed as an opponent Brady throw for 505 against
505 and win, yes, and lose. I mean, he knows what he's talking about, and he's right. Like, can Brady lie sideways or horizontally and levitate and throw a ball 15 yards down the field like Mahomes did in that one Super Bowl? No. Brady's not as talented as Mahomes. This kid's the most talented guy I've seen in years. We may not see it again. See, that's the thing. We talked about it with Brady, too. Like, oh, you'll never see this again. Yeah, we're kind of seeing it, but we're seeing it differently. And I have no problem discussing it this way. It's not that one guy's got to be the guy. This guy can't ever be him. He's doing it, and he's doing it differently. I heard Devin McCourty talking about this, too, and I truly believe it. If you look at our text, holy crap, Brock Purdy was playing well enough in that game to where he was outplaying Patrick Mahomes until it mattered the most in the fourth. Mahomes goes 8 for 8 in that last drive, and McCourty even said, I can't believe it. He's the MVP again. Because that's what you do. You give that guy the MVP. When the money's on the line and you respond, that guy's the MVP. Yeah, so I do agree with Chris Long.
Here's what Chris Long had to say in his own words.
This run, they beat the fastest team, they beat the hottest team in a row, and then the MVP and the best team. They beat all those teams on the road. They got beat by the Raiders at home. Like, the things that they did to get to where they got to at the end of the season is incredible. We spent all year trying to figure out who they were. We were like, are they this sloppy team? Are they the favorites again in the playoffs? I actually think they got a lot of that sloppy team in them, but they were able to win despite that because of Patrick Mahomes and because of the coordinators, because of the head coach. The greatness that they have at the top in this organization, the core players, that's what shines through. And now the toughest work for him is ahead. 28-year-old Patrick Mahomes, and I play with Brady. I love Tom Brady. I've been calling him the GOAT for years. But 28-year-old Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback I've ever seen.
Yes.
Now, to be the greatest, the hard work is in front of you. Tom Brady and them, they won their third. It took 10 years to get back and win.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not a foregone conclusion. So I can't wait to see him carry out the rest of his career and chase Brady.
There we go. Well said. Perfect. Can't phrase it any other way. I couldn't phrase it any better. Because we do talk about that. What's he going to be post-Kelsey? People made some jokes last week about the dad body. Is there going to be a point after he's 28 to where, like, okay, I'm 32, I start to feel differently. I ache more. It takes me to get ready more after games. I need to change my diet. I need to call Brady. How did you do this for 10 years when it mattered the most to finish your career and take care of your body? Because I want to extend it. I want to play forever. Or maybe he wins 2 more, and maybe he's done in his mid-30s. I don't know. But it remains to be seen, and that's going to be the fun part watching that. Because I like him. Yeah, I like the guy.
This is the thing that Brady's already going to lose on and already is losing on. No one's going to look at Brady and say he was the best to ever play the position. They're going to say he was the best quarterback, most accomplished guy ever. They're not going to say anymore that he was the best guy and did it the best way possible. They're going to look at Mahomes and say that. And I think people already are. Because it's a fascinating way that he plays the game. And he could do a lot more physically than what Brady could do. And so I think Brady's already losing some of his ground as best quarterback ever. How could you possibly take Joe Montana ahead of Patrick Mahomes right now?
Because then if you're evaluating rings and it's 4-0.
That's it. That's all it is. The only thing that Brady's got over Mahomes now is the ring count. You could make a case that Brady did things better than Montana in a lot of ways.
I agree.
How do you do that with Mahomes? How do you do it?
You can't. He's a different one. He's a unicorn, man. Brett Favre was a different type player, but Brett Favre was wild. This kid's controlled.
Right, he was erratic.
Yeah, he was erratic. He was a spaz.
It's not that.
No.
And he picks his spots when you see it.
He does, like that 4th and 1.
Yep. And so I think Brady's already starting to lose this one, which sucks. Yeah, it sucks a little bit, doesn't it?
That's what it is. That's life. That's reality.
The thing he's going to cling to now is the trophy count. How many trophies are in the case? How many rings are on the fingers?
He could hold up 2 hands now. Brady can do that. Mahomes can only hold up 1 and a couple fingers. That's it. Need to fill the fingers now.
It's insane that these two guys' careers have overlapped. That they played against one another in a Super Bowl. That it's happening this fast.
Brady beat him. He could have had another one. Then Brady beat him in Kansas City. He could have had another one there. He may have had 2 more if it wasn't for Brady.
Is he the best quarterback you've ever seen? Patrick Mahomes. Hard to argue against him. What's his flaw? What when you look at this guy, what do you say is his flaw, the thing that he can't do?
Not sure.
Yeah, not sure. Not sure. And with every other quarterback along the way, you could find one, and you could pick at one, and you could say, well, he doesn't do this thing well, or this is something that's caught up with him. I don't know that exists yet with Patrick Mahomes. For so long, we were holding on to the road playoff situation. Well, this guy never goes on the road. Let me see you do it on the road. Well, that question got answered. That was taken care of. 617-779-0985. More on Kyle Shanahan, his situation. Was it a big issue that there was a lack of knowledge of the overtime rules? We'll get to thoughts on that. More on Bill Belichick, where he could land eventually. Is he still in play? We've got a lot to get to today, including talking to Joe Mazzulla, Celtics head coach. He'll join us at noon, so go nowhere. Today's a big day, Zoe.
Hey, baby. Hot stuff.
Hey, baby.
Hey, sweetie.
What are you getting the wife today?
Oh, some flowers.
Yeah? How about some donuts?
Now, sports talk for your workday.
If you want to dream big.
Zolak and Bertrand.
Hey, can I touch that thing? Sure, it's a stanchion. Yeah, go ahead.
On 98.5, the Sports Hub.
I mean, you'd love to fix perception because I would love to win one for what I know about football and stuff. And I know if I fix perception, that means I did everything I wanted to do, which isn't fix perception. It's win a damn Super Bowl. But I also know, like, when you say big games, like, we've got to win a bunch of big games to get to Super Bowls. We've won a lot of big games here. We've won a lot of big games to get into playoffs. The fact that we keep getting there shows you guys how much we've been win games or big games, and I think you guys are aware of that. But it's, these 2 Super Bowls have been tough, losing to Kansas City. But to think that if we win that means I can win a big game. No, that means our team won the Super Bowl. That's what I understand. You guys can have any narrative you want, but like the success or the failure, it comes down to one game. And I hope that I can be a part of a team that wins a game at the end of the year. But to say that the Niners can't win a big game, that would be an extremely inaccurate statement.
That's Kyle Shanahan. He met with reporters yesterday. He's trying to shake the narrative that he can't win the big game. He's trying to shake the fact that he can't win the big game.
He's hearing it. He's feeling it.
You'd love to fix perception because I would love to win one for what I know about football.
Yeah.
And I know if I fix perception, that means I did everything I wanted to do.
Yep. Hey, Jim Kelly, Darryl Talley, Bruce Smith, they'd all love to change perception. They went to 4 straight, lost all 4.
Yeah.
That's losing the big game.
Could win the big one.
Yeah.
Same is true for Shanahan.
And they're all Hall of Famers, and to this day, you still talk about them that way. Well, they never won the big one. Dan Marino got there once, never got back. Never won the big one.
Is it okay to chalk it up as his biggest losses have come to Brady and Mahomes?
It's a massive part of it.
Is it okay to excuse it away because of that part?
I mean, that's kind of part of the narrative with Purdy here, because I didn't think he played poorly in the game. I thought he was good. I mean, he drove down to take the lead there at the end, but you're going up against Patrick Mahomes at the end. Like even that Eagles game, if you didn't make Brady fumble, he was going to win. Whoever had the ball last. I think that is part of the narrative with him, that he's a good coach. We know he's a good coach. I mean, everybody tries to pattern their offensive teams after him and McVay, their whole system. How do you get away from the run at the end of the game? I'd question that more than, you blew it. You didn't understand the coin flip. Your team wasn't ready there. They weren't informed. Why'd you get away from Christian McCaffrey at the end of the game? That guy should have been a massive part of it. You understanding the end of the game. See, I think that's where he could potentially be better. His game management at the end of games is not good. And maybe he's just one of those coaches, and that's why the narrative's out there, and he's trying to shake it that he'll get you there. He'll just never get you over the hump. You know, if the system's so good, why don't you keep Garoppolo? If the system's so good, why don't you just keep Purdy and not go after Brady? Try to get Brady. And maybe that would have been a big get for him.
If the system's so good, why don't you have a way to prepare for the pressure that the defense of the Chiefs brought all game long?
You know Spags is going to blitz. They showed you man on man. They showed you. You couldn't. Brian Baldinger broke it down on Twitter. In the end copy and the end zone copy of that throw by Purdy, the rush, where Chris Jones went unblocked. It was an awful line call. They slid the wrong way. They freed 2 defenders right up the middle and a blitz, and you were man up, and you had 2 guys wide open. That was a ball game. You weren't ready for it.
Offensive genius.
You should have kept. Where's your fullback? Where's Yushik? What's he out there running a fancy route? Because that's what our cool fullbacks do. Why don't you stick him between the guard level? Let him pick up the free defender. Why weren't you max protected down in there? See, that's what we did to Kansas City when we were coming back. Max protected and did what? Ran a slant with Gronk on the outside, but we blocked it up. Remember that? They sent the fullback in the game, extra tight end. You didn't. You went spread. They put it on your young quarterback. He had the right read. He was trying to go there. Just was going to get killed by Chris Jones if he hung on to it. So, I mean, all this is factored in. I mean, there's a lot of levels to this. Yeah, you did lose to Brady. You did lose to Mahomes. But that doesn't excuse it. I mean, you're still a team that traded 3 number ones to go up and get a guy that really wasn't any good. And you still found a way to get back there. There's a credit to that. But does getting back there count? Are we playing horseshoes or what are we doing here? You know, just almost getting there doesn't mean you got there.
Players not knowing the overtime rules also didn't help his coaching resume. And that's going to sort of stick with him, too.
Yeah, and I'd love to know this. Like, did he go over it like once and they just didn't digest it? Because there's no way when there's a rule change that a head coach in the National Football League doesn't immediately address it with his team. I think he may have done it and just didn't beat it into him. Like, yeah, we talked about this when it came through, but we didn't practice it. You don't really practice it. You do talk about it, though. That's one of the things you cover in this type of week, right? You got 2 weeks to get ready for this game, and you play out every scenario. This is where, say what you want about Bill, and it didn't end well at the end. But that guy would go over every freaking scenario. I couldn't tell you with Parcells and him how long our Friday practices were because it was a situational practice. Guys, if this happened, and yeah, it becomes monotonous. Part of the problem is they're all 53 guys focused in on it. Because I think the most important players usually get it because, yeah, we went over that. We got it because you're pros. Now, if you got a young team, you need to beat it into them. And how much time did he spend these last 2 weeks on it, if anything at all?
So
it's criminal if he didn't.
It's debatable as to how much it mattered in the end going against Mahomes. But the better question is, when they get to these big games, are they best prepared for them? Are they able to make adjustments in game, which they didn't really do offensively that they needed to make?
So he took,
and I think all of those things combined sort of add up to why he can't win the big game.
Yeah. So they took the ball, they drove it down, like they were inside the red zone, and you had a bad line call on a pass on 3rd and 4, and you're forced to kick it. So if you would have scored a touchdown there, how are you going to prevent them from winning? You would have to stop them because they said we're going to score and go for 2. You know, we're not dealing with that third possession thing. So Andy already knew it. See, that's where. Advantage coaching for Andy Reid, his team. Like, they were already thinking about that.
Yeah, they were thinking about what happens if we get the ball second and what happens if we score.
Yeah,
and it's
because
now
we
a
know the
tie
scenarios
game,
and how it plays
we
out.
each scored a touchdown. We go for 2.
Yeah.
His players, his quarterback, his tight end, all the guys on offense knew that if they were in that situation with the ball second, that they might need to go for 2. They knew it. They were ready for it. They looked ready.
They sure did.
First real touchdown drive of the game.
Mm-hmm.
617-779-0985. Gary's in Waltham. Hey, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
doing today?
Good.
Listen, you guys know a lot more about football than I do, but Mahomes was a better scrambler than Brady. But how can you take Mahomes over Brady? Brady was a better thrower.
I'm not taking him over him. I'd still take Brady in a walk-off game tomorrow. I'd take Brady. We're having a discussion. Go ahead.
If you were going to pick a team and you had to choose the quarterback between Mahomes and Brady, who would you pick?
To build a team, I'd take Mahomes right now.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about when Brady was in his prime and everything. You'd take Mahomes over Brady?
Then I'd probably take Brady.
Remember, another thing, too, about Brady you're not talking about is he was like the best sneak quarterback I've ever seen. He always got that first down with the quarterback sneak.
Great at it.
Can you hear it?
Hear what?
Everybody getting nervous about Brady's legacy?
Yeah. But we can't have a discussion about
Getting nervous about Mahomes catching him? And Mahomes being regarded as every bit the quarterback Brady was? It's already started. He's got 3 rings. Yeah, he doesn't have 7. He doesn't. But in terms of playing the position, he plays the position like no one else has ever played it.
You now know what, like, the Jordan-LeBron argument feels like now. Like, Jordan's the greatest of all time. And there's people argue, well, LeBron's the best player I've ever seen. He's the greatest of all time. No, Jordan's the greatest of all time. Still feel Tom's the greatest of all time. But watching this kid play, he may be the best I've ever seen play. The way he plays it. You could sit there and honestly have a discussion about this without being jaded or, it's our team we're defending. Nobody loves Brady more than me, but I can admit that kid's pretty special. Watch the game. Use your eyes.
Keith in the truck. Hi, Keith.
Hey, guys. So I look at that and says when I used to hear that, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time, and he had 1 Super Bowl, and Brady was at like 4 or 5. It used to kind of like blow my mind that people would say that, but I understand because of the physical attributes and the skills and the plays, and it's awesome.
Great point.
This Mahomes is Rodgers, but he's got the killer instinct of Brady. He's got the it factor of Brady. It's hard to go against that. And I'm a Boston homer. I love the Patriots. I love Brady. But this kid is what I think people expected Rodgers to be if he wasn't such a darn loser. So it is what it is. I think this kid's something special.
It's a good point about Rodgers. I watch those warm-ups and I called multiple games against him live. You're in awe of him. Just the ability to spin. I've never seen anybody throw a spiral as tight and as hard as he does, and just flicks it off the back foot. And he improvises. He has different traits of his game that are much better than Brady's. But he brings up a good point. Mahomes just laser focused. You see him on the sidelines. It's the stuff he reminds you of Brady. Bleep's hitting the fan all around him. Tight end's knocking his coach down. Just sits there with the headband on, staring forward, waiting for the next series, looking at the clock. Guy's dialed in. He's fun to watch. What do you want me to say?
Hey, McKone, you ready to go over there for the headlines?
Yes, we can do this. We got this.
All right, let's try and do that. Now, here they are.
Zoe and Beetle are back with more on the Sports Hub.
Tony Dungy couldn't get over the top with Tampa Bay.
Yep.
He had a great team. Defensively, they were unbelievable. They could not win and get to the Super Bowl. Guess what they did?
Oh, yeah.
They fired Tony Dungy and hired John Gruden. And guess what?
They won.
They won the next year with Tony Dungy's team.
Yes, they did.
So here's my big plan. You ready?
Yep.
Fire Kyle Shanahan and hire Bill Belichick. He's sitting there. He will get you over the top. Bill Belichick is the way for the 49ers to finally win again. It's been forever since they won a Super Bowl. Bill Belichick is sitting there. He knows how to win. He knows how to close games out. That's why it's worth making the move.
Rob Parker says, fire Shanahan today, bring in Belichick if you're the 49ers. McKone is so pissed about this take, I can tell. I got the McKone cam over in the corner of the studio, so I know when he gets riled up.
It's a terrible take. I can't, you don't have a quarterback. And so, the Ian O'Connor book back in the day talking about how we can win with the top 15 QB, maybe this is the situation, but unless you're dropping Bill into a place that actually has a ready-made, let's go quarterback Dak or Josh Allen, I don't know why you would expect that Bill Belichick's going to be the missing piece for a team that's already in the Super Bowl but doesn't have the QB.
Why don't they have a quarterback? The kid in 2 years got him to the NFC title game and then the Super Bowl the following year.
Because he has limitations and he's Brock Purdy.
But that's what Bill wants to win with.
It is? How'd he do with Mac Jones?
Terrible.
Oh.
It's funny.
So I think that's kind of the point. Bill's never won without the great quarterback.
7 job openings.
Andy Reid's never gotten over the top without the great quarterback.
Yeah. 7 job openings, and Bill can't get one. But now, it's funny, they talked to Michael Irvin last week on our show. Dallas has got to get him. He's what it will give them. They need him. All these good teams, San Francisco, get Bill Belichick. Now they want Bill Belichick when they could have had him. Could have had him. All these teams could have had him. Dallas could have fired their coach and hired him. Why don't you do it?
The part I don't like about Rob Parker's take is that he compares it to Tampa Bay when they fired Tony Dungy, and he knows that there's a difference between losing in the wild card round and getting blown out in the wild card round, which the Buccaneers did with Tony Dungy in his final year there, and getting to the Super Bowl and going to overtime. Those are two entirely different situations, and you know how the world works.
And
they're not going
Mahomes.
to fire their coach after going to overtime in the Super Bowl and battling against Patrick Mahomes. Come on. But should Shanahan be on thin ice going forward?
Yeah.
He can't get over the hump.
Yeah. Sure. Now you start seeing things like that, track record. And their front office, they're all in on this together. Him, Lynch, York, all of them. They're the ones that all agreed to give up all those draft picks. Let's go all in. Let's get Chase Young. How was he in that game? Where was Bosa at the end of the game? Bosa was having a great game at the beginning, and then they made adjustments and blocked him in the second half. Stuff you didn't do. Couldn't handle Chris Jones. Couldn't double him. Should have just doubled him and then if we're going to get beat, let this guy from the second edge. We're going to get beat by him. Some backup linebacker. No, you just turn Chris Jones loose.
I would not fire Kyle Shanahan. I don't even know that I would put him on thin ice. As much as I rip him for the way he handled the game and for how overrated he is and how he's the offensive genius. The offensive genius goes 3 of 12 on third down.
Yeah.
Offensive genius doesn't put himself in manageable third downs. He doesn't do any of that in this game. So I sort of mock that element of it because I think this guy has got a massive oversized ego for a guy who hasn't won a damn thing in this league yet. But I still think he's good.
Blame him?
I think he's good, and I think he's running a good program, and he's got a good team. So I would slow down on the fire Kyle Shanahan stuff. And I don't even know that I'd get close to firing him if he got back to the Super Bowl or lost in the playoffs next year.
If they miss the playoffs next year?
They're a good team. They're a good team, and he's running a good show there. If they miss the playoffs, well, I think that's entirely different.
Okay.
I think that would be unexpected.
So if there's say the Super Bowl hangover and that effect really hits his team. And they're still loaded. They do have a good team. You're right. They have a hell of a core.
Yeah.
It's built the right way.
So what are you firing your coach and blowing it up for in the middle and bringing Bill in?
It's a natural reaction.
Of all the people that bring in, you're going to bring Bill in? And how's Bill going to make that better? Would Bill have handled overtime differently? Yeah, he would. He would have handled that differently.
Oh, they'd have been ready. They'd been ready.
What offense are they running under Bill? What position are they putting Brock Purdy in to succeed under Bill?
Handoff.
They're going to bring in Josh McDaniels with Bill? Is that what it's going to be, too?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, no, they're going to right there, and they're going to win it next time. Yep. Without a doubt, with Brock Purdy as their quarterback, the guy who hasn't won with anybody other than Tom Brady, is going to elevate Brock Purdy. I have a hard time believing that. Hard time seeing why that would be the fix.
Yeah.
There are things he would do better than Shanahan, no doubt about it, but I just don't think that that's in the big picture or some sort of great fix for that team to make them better than what they already are. 617-779-0985. Jeff is in the car. Jeff.
How you doing, guys? Happy Valentine's Day. I say Shanahan blew that game in the third quarter because he refused to run. They had the defense reeling. They had no answers, and he let them off the hook.
The sequence off the interception, the quick pick by Mahomes when he overthrew Kelsey, and I think he threw it 3 straight plays. They got the ball at midfield, coming out of the gate, bang, right away you get the possession back, and you punted. That did nothing for your team. That was a chance right there to make the statement, this is our game. Because it played really well up to that point. A ball going off a guy's leg, handing him the ball inside the 20. Stupid things you did. Yep, that sequence after the pick, you think, this is it. Holy crap, they're going to win this game. You didn't see Mahomes ever have a throw like that in the big game. Not airmail one like that. Maybe that's one where you look at Mahomes and say, what doesn't he do well? Well, maybe it's something minuscule like a footwork. Left foot wasn't coming forward on the release point. Like that's how much under the microscope you have to look at it.
But you throw that stuff out the window because he just compensates for any of his mechanical miscues with his arm.
It's the one foot leaning, falling away, shortstop throw to first that he's perfected.
Let's go to Johnny and Lowell. Johnny.
Yeah, guys, you guys are killing. Well, you're actually throwing roses at Reed's feet for being prepared, but actually McCole Hardman didn't even know he had won the game. Mahomes had to tell him after he caught the TD, so he wasn't prepared. And I think we're being a little hard on Shanahan. They anteed up. They traded for what's his name that didn't work out, the early pick, but he came through with Purdy, man. To have the lead in overtime in the Super Bowl, that's nothing to sneeze at, dudes.
I agree with it all. And sometimes you just play with guys that upstairs, they don't get it, but they're great players. That's why they're out there. And you need a guy like Mahomes to tell them. And when it's happening in real time, you're so overcome. It's so surreal. Like, holy crap, did we just win the game? Like, that could be part of it, too. I'm not going to sit here and rip Hardman, but, you're down and tight. Hey, we score here, guys. We win. You knew that. He had to know that. But it's nice to just get, told, damn, okay, we won. You won. You won the game off the catch. Remember Edelman? Hey, we got to review it. No. I already went to review. We won it. Bill took care of all that. But that Patriot team going in, they knew. We scored a touchdown here. We win.
We'll get to more of your calls coming up next. 617-779-0985. That's on the way.
This is the show that keeps Boston sports fans working.
Yeah, I'm a sexual freak.
Zolak and Bertrand.
That's stuff we do.
On the Sports Hub.
Why wouldn't the Jets tomorrow just hire Belichick and get rid of Robert Saleh? How are they not better with Bill Belichick than Robert Saleh? Like, in what world are you not better at that point? How are you not better?
Belichick. I just don't understand the Belichick
I just can't believe nobody's going to hire him. It's insane. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. He's not better than Robert Saleh?
Saleh won more games.
7 kids, Saleh? Has he had 8 wins in the season? The guy is like, no, Zach Wilson, we're fine. He's a good backup. This guy deserves to coach again?
7-layer
fired, but come on.
7-layer Saleh. How many Jet wins were there this year? I mean, it's 6-1 really with these two guys. They won 7 games. Belichick won 4, right?
Let me ask you this. So
Quarterback's about the same.
Woody Johnson's an old guy, right? You're at the point, like, if you're going to bet your life on this decision, it's like, all right, I'm year to year now. I'm getting up there in age. Like, I need us to be good now. How do you have Robert Saleh over Bill Belichick?
Six 617-779-0985. That is Bill Simmons making the case for the Jets to go get Bill Belichick. Now, this I can get on board with. I cannot get on board with firing Shanahan for Belichick today. That's nonsense. The Jets, what excuse do they have to keep their current coach and not upgrade with an available upgrade? A guy who absolutely despises the Jets organization, but maybe he could get over that considering he's in need of work. And he could inherit a good defense, good roster with a good quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. He could get it all there.
It's the Aaron Rodgers factor, more so than anything. And I was hearing this back in November, where the Jets could be in play. Bird heard it too. So it's not that crazy. Like, oh, the hatred, they could never work together. I think you get to a point where if you love the game and you know it's a good team, and if you know the owner's not going to meddle, and it's not really the guy, it was really Hess and that stuff back in the day. Plus, you could play New England twice a year. He would have that motivation if there's any ill feelings. Jets could always be in play. I wouldn't close the door on the Jets. Like, Jets Dallas makes more sense than I'm with you on that too. Like, why would you fire a good young head coach that seems like his teams are good and he's got that program running? It's the desperate older owners that put a lot of money into their team, like Dallas, like the Jets, that could utilize a guy like Bill at this point. Just coach us. Get us there. We got the team. You coach it. Now, you don't have to come here. You don't have to build it. You don't have to train it for 3 years. No. Just come in and coach. We need your decision-making. We need your leadership. The reason they won 7 games is because they're way more talented than this New England team.
Right.
It's not,
Good
it's not
roster.
It's not about Robert Saleh.
The Jets would offer the rare opportunity for Bill Belichick to go to a team with a good quarterback and win and still have it count for his legacy because it's the Jets. And they suck, and they've underachieved. And so breaking through, even with Aaron Rodgers, as your quarterback would still count for something. And, of course, we know at this point Bill just wants to stack the wins and get the record and probably be done.
So do it. They won't do it. They won't fire him. No.
They would have done it by now.
They would have done it by now.
Did Rodgers call it last year? A darkness retreat? Is that what he went on the
Yeah, he went on a
offseason?
darkness retreat, yes.
Well, darkness retreat with the boys?
Kind of like you're in right now.
Turned out the lights.
You know what, McKone? It's a nice little pad you got there.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
What's that? You got that eclectic vibe, the industrial look?
Yeah, exactly.
Are the walls
exactly.
finished?
Got an old warehouse there?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that a shed?
Oldest building in Worcester.
Oldest building in Worcester, they say, allegedly.
Yes.
What's that, $7,500 a month?
Allegedly.
Closer to $75 a month, yeah.
Yeah, let's get that.
Get parking space with that?
Is that door on a track? That big old warehouse door there? Slides?
It's just for show. Doesn't move.
Oh, it doesn't go anywhere.
No.
What's behind it? Just another brick wall?
Yeah, another apartment, I think, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speakeasy.
Wow.
They share a bathroom.
Is it like a
home-style
hostel?
living?
Does it get that bright all the time in that room? That's
Yeah,
a
it's
very
brutal.
bright room.
It's brutal.
Do you have some sort of shades to negate that?
You ever hear of blackout blinds?
I know. We got to get that in. The windows are too big, and, yeah, it gets at like 6 a.m., it's over.
So you've got nothing on the windows to block that light.
We got shades that don't really do much. Yeah, they're just for show more than anything.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Can't have that. Got to be able to block that.
Where's your fridge?
Fridge is right to the left.
All right.
Back here. Yeah.
So
Stainless steel appliances, though.
Oh.
Well, it should be. I mean, all these new places like that. You put black ones in, white
Doesn't
ones?
have to worry about his fridge breaking like you're currently concerned about yours, right?
We're working on it.
Working on it?
Mm-hmm. Got something that works.
How's your laundry situation there,
Phenomenal.
McKone?
Oh.
In unit. How about
In-unit
that?
laundry.
Up, down?
Yep.
Very nice.
Yes. Yeah, the stackables. Yep.
How does the dryer work? Does the dryer work well? My dryer is not working well at all.
Our dryer is questionable at best. Small, too. Small loads, unfortunately. Yeah. That was too easy.
You didn't fix that dryer yet.
No, I didn't do it. Like I said, it still works. It just sounds like a freight train's coming through. Like, boom, boom, boom. You know how like the train hits the tracks when it's,
Yeah.
all that clanging that goes on? Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yep, you've got it.
Like you got a shoe in it.
Yes, it sounds like something is in there when there isn't. Tim's in Rochester. Hey, Tim.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Hey.
You guys have a great show. I love listening to you guys. Hey, one thing that doesn't get talked about is the amount of years Brady had to play under the old quarterback rules of hitting. I mean, he lost a year to the ACL injury. Mahomes is clear free of those rules, so he has the better opportunity from being protected by those rules, where Brady didn't. Had to come back, and I agree, Zoe, with your comment on Long, how he put it. He put it perfectly.
He sure did.
Yeah, he really did. And all these other quarterbacks had that adversity to come over, the hitting, the injuries, and Mahomes is set up nicely to really surpass Brady. which is fine with me. I mean, I love Brady, but Mahomes definitely is an amazing quarterback. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and Tim, you bring up the rules being different and the physicality of the position being different now. You don't have to take those big hits. There are other quarterbacks who had careers shortened by taking those hits. Troy Aikman was one of those guys.
Steve Young, Troy Aikman, Montana.
Yeah,
Montana got destroyed by the Giants.
Giants killed him, nearly.
Played his final year in Kansas City with no filling in his his ring and his pinky because of nerve damage in the elbow from that hit that he actually got concussed on.
So he won't have to deal with that.
Nope. And it benefited Brady at the end of his career. Luckily, Tom played long enough to where, you remember that hit in Buffalo when they took his head off. You know, they didn't even throw a flag on that. Yeah, that would get flagged now.
Where the rules kicked in and helped him at the end.
Yeah, Brady got some calls at the end. He was good enough to where all he had to do was point and he'd get a call.
Mike is in Linfield. Hey, Mike.
What's up, Mark? How you doing, guys? I love talking about these quarterbacks. Let me just ask you, Mark, was Jim Kelly a Hall of Famer?
Without a doubt, yeah. As an individual, his ability, yes.
Did he ever win a Super Bowl?
He did not, and that's still part of who he is.
That's what I mean today now. Everybody said, if he don't win a Super Bowl, Brock Purdy. But the Bills' problem back then was they had to go up against, you just mentioned them, Troy Aikman and that wagon. You know, guys, they get crazy with this.
Yeah, they also lost to the Redskins, too. I mean, it wasn't just all Dallas. But, yeah, that was the beginning of Dallas's dynasty.
Right. And I agree with you, Zoe. I mean, saying Bill's got to go there. How about if Bill went to Detroit and Bill said, hey, let's kick this field goal and win the game? Detroit should have been in it. They were beating up on the 49ers by running the football, and then they stopped.
They choked.
Yeah.
They choked.
I think he brings up something interesting, and that is great quarterbacks that have not managed to win a Super Bowl. I have a question. Who's the greatest quarterback in the sport right now who doesn't have a ring?
Right now?
Let's take the guys out who have not won. Who are those guys?
Let's pick it up on the other side.
All right, we'll pick that up after headlines in 90 seconds. Also, an update on how the coaching search went for the assistants and coordinators with the Patriots. A little inside info on that. We'll get to that coming up as well in hour number 2. It's on the way.